Which high school friend took a path you didn't expect? I knew a girl in high school who was very sweet but very shy. She had very poor eyesight, had some tough dental issues, was overweight, and lived with a foster family in a trailer park. She wasn't particularly close with anyone in school. I got the sense that she was just trying to make it through, head down, get it done. But she was always kind, and I would talk with her a bit here and there. Mostly she kept to herself, and seemed to want to just not be noticed at all. After high school, we lost touch. 20 years later, I get a Facebook request from someone with her name, but the picture looks nothing like her. Not even a vague resemblance. I accept because I'm curious. Well, it was indeed her. It turns out that she worked her way through paid for community college, ended up getting a good job with a family company, and worked her way up the ranks there. She saved all of her money. By her late 20s, she saved enough money and had good insurance for eye surgery and dental surgery. She also started really focusing on getting healthy. She said it all boosted her confidence so much that she started traveling around the country. During those travels, she ended up meeting a great guy. She and her husband have a nice family, good jobs, and live in an affluent community. She acknowledged that her early years were tough, and she had such low self-esteem that she had a tough time making friends. She thanked me for always being kind to her. She ended with, "I may have blossomed late, but it was worth the wait. I'm so happy for her. We keep in touch." Probably the smartest guy in class, but never actually paid attention or did his homework. Was always sleeping in class or doing his own thing or goofing off. Recently sold his startup for 8 figures and is now back to goofing off. Hey Redditor, if you think you're this guy, chances are you're not. Pay attention in class. A friend of mine is a talented artist with a deep passion for video game design. He worked on projects for indie devs all through high school, and I thought it was certain he would quickly become an artist for some dev studio soon after. He now works as a furniture salesman. The quiet, kinda nerdy guy in the back of my AP calculus class is now the CEO of Playboy Thailand. When I was 10 I sat next to the sweetest boy in our class. All the other boys I had sat next to in junior school were mild asshats. I remember I lent him my Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory VHS, and he lent me the Muppets Take Manhattan. We went to different high schools when we were 12. I heard that at 16 he had been arrested for armed robbery. I still can't believe it. What the hell happened to that kind and gentle boy between 12 and 16? Girl in my high school was a terrible human being, selfish and totally self-absorbed. 20 years later she sacrifices her life trying to help save 3 children, unknown to her, from drowning in a rip current at a local beach. Low achiever, used to goof off in class all the time. Bit of a class clown. Used to tell everyone that her goal was to be a trophy wife, so she could watch TV all day. Has shown her designs at Paris Fashion Week, and has dressed several celebrities. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I was flicking through a copy of Vogue Australia on my lunch break and there was a 4-page article on her in there. I was so happy. She always had a heart of gold, and I feel like her teen self was a reflection of what her family thought for her. She deserved to be much more than someone's wife. I would probably be a good post about this, but since this isn't about myself, here we go. A girl who was in the top 10 of my graduating class had plans to become a lawyer and probably would have succeeded seeing as how her mock trial team won state, went to college, and learned she enjoyed the arts much more. Briefly become an actress, but failed. Moved back home with her parents and started her own photography business but failed. Now she is a very successful burlesque dancer. While she has failed in many of her endeavors, I always admire her will to find something new to try. And the kid in our class, who some of us were sure would become a mass murderer, is now the fire chief of the local fire department. Douchebag weightlifting party boy started a tech company that sold for $225 million a few weeks ago. Not high school friend really, but a girl I used to babysit when she was around 10 or 11. Always an outgoing girl, but a bit down on herself sometimes. Wanted to be an actress more than anything. I thought she'd do something with theater, but getting discovered as an actress is hard. She's an adult now, and has been in a couple Netflix originals, among others, and is in an upcoming movie of decent hype. She's a rising star in media, and is gaining a lot of notoriety very quickly, and it's well deserved. Our class valedictorian, who was also a star soccer player, ended up turning down numerous full rides to major universities to basically travel the world doing random volunteer work in third world countries. A kid I really respected in high school. He was smart and well adjusted. I remember the first time I met him, he was playing Atticus Finch in our production of To Kill a Mockingbird. He later became a white supremacist. A friend of mine barely skated by in high school, like D+ grades. Apparently he was a closet computer nerd. Saw him at our 10-year reunion. He landed a job with Apple, was involved in developing Siri. I knew a girl who was super book smart, but not very intelligent socially, and was not hot. After college she got some plastic surgery, and is a dancer for an NHL team now in my city, and I see her on the big screen, and think to myself, wow, I cheated off her in chemistry. I knew a guy that was a super high achiever in high school. Took the International Baccalaureate program, had super high grades, participated in pretty much every club and several sports. He had a plan for how he was going to pursue aeronautical engineering and work for NASA, but decided to take 1 year off after high school to travel a little and unwind from extreme academia before jumping into it again. He got a girl pregnant early in his year off, and instead of going back to school he got a job at a mattress store to support his family, and almost 20 years later he is still at that mattress store. This was a guy that could tell you he was going to do anything, and you just nod and think, yeah, I could see that. And now he's almost 40 and hasn't done anything past high school other than sell mattresses. She was a quiet girl whose family had moved here from South Korea. A very sweet and gentle girl who studied hard and enjoyed listening to conversations without giving a lot of input, as many introverts may be. Though she was shy and quiet, she had a heart for people. Now she is working with helping North Koreans escape, integrating them into South Korea. I don't know where her courage came from, but I think her heart for others drove her to do this. Not mine, but one of my brothers. In year 9, one of my brother's acquaintances began coming late to school almost every day, and I'm talking like third or fourth period in the afternoon late, because he was up all night playing Dota. 2 or 3 years later, after my brother and I transferred high schools, we find out that he started entering international gaming competitions and his team ended up winning cash from a $10 million prize pool. He became a millionaire by playing Dota, and here we are still trying to get our crap together. He lucky him though, I guess. My best friend in school, he was smarter than me, and we were in a constant competition for the best grades in the class. He was an excellent artist, had an intense focus, and wanted to be an architect. Instead, he got married 2 weeks after graduation to his longtime girlfriend. He got a job in a factory and they quickly had 2 kids, then divorced amid abuse allegations on both sides. He got remarried. Second marriage also is rocky. 25 years later, he lives in a double wide on his parents' property, has a giant beard, and still works that same factory job. This was me. I was the nerdy, overweight, long-haired hippie kid who was supposed to go to college and major in environmental science and do something to save the planet. I wanted to be a marine biologist when I was a freshman. I was an EMT for a couple years during college, and I've been in the army for the last 13. I've lived all over the world and married a wonderful woman from Central Asia I met while I was in Afghanistan. When I went to my hometown, before Facebook, etc. really became social religion, people didn't recognize me at all. People I had gone to school with for years looked at me funny when I talked to them, and I realized they had no idea who I was. On one hand it was a bit refreshing to be someone unknown, but on the other hand it made me wonder if I had always been someone unknown. Thank you for watching Internet's Funniest. Please like, share, and subscribe.